before that as well. And what we're going to talk about today is symbolism and how to incorporate some of the Native American symbols into your ceremonies, as well as some of the do's and some of the don'ts. So we'll start out with our symbolism, which is the colors. And if you look at the medicine wheel, which would be right here on my sweatshirt, our north symbol is white, our east symbol is yellow, our south symbol is red, and blue is our west symbol. Most medicine wheels use black for that color, but black is a symbol of death, the end, darkness, all of that. Blue is a symbol of life. So our Mateo, instead of being black, like he is in 95% of the lodges around the world, or around America, our chapter, he is blue. So again, Alawat would be all white. Kitchkenneth would be mainly yellow, is his base colors. Nudikit is mainly red, and Mateo is mainly blue. They might have some of the other colors mixed in with him when he's dressed, but that would be the color combinations that we use. So then we also have assigned an animal to each one of those, and what we've done is we made these direction markers. So for each of the 4 directions, when you come into your ceremony site, and when we set up our ceremony site, we set it up so it works for the site. So if your trail is coming in from the east, or say the northeast, that's where you set up your south gate, and then you do your ceremony accordingly. Does that make sense to you guys? So I mean, it seems awkward to me to funnel everybody all the way around so that you're doing everything chronologically correct with the directions of the world. Use your ceremony site that you are given to the best of your ability, and use it south gate this way, so that it works. Does that make sense to anybody? All right. It's just one of those things that bothers me when we walk people in and they come all the way around the ceremony and come in from the absolute south end, as opposed to just coming in the natural way that the site was set up. Because whoever set up the fire ring site to begin with, or at most of these camps, wasn't thinking about arrow ceremonies to begin with. They were thinking about what's the most convenient way to get people in and out. That was what they were thinking. So once you have that, then set up your we set up our direction markers, and at our gate, the symbol that we have for the south gate is the elk, but we don't have an elk skull with antlers on it. We have a deer skull with antlers on it. So we'll set up a deer skull on top of that marker. We'll have a little stump right next to the gate with a deer skull on it. On the west side for Mateo, we'll have a bear skull. For Alawat Sakima in the north, we'll have another buffalo skull that we set up there. And then when you go to the east, we have actually a wolf skull set up there. And that's what we use for our 4 symbols. Does that make sense to anybody or everybody? Okay. So then the other thing that we do to actually enhance our ceremony is we'll take this buffalo robe that I got right here in front of me. We'll set that down in front of our council fire. Go around. So we'll set that down in front of the fire, and then we'll set the buffalo skull out. This one in particular, this was found in a peat bog, so it's a very ancient buffalo, and this is the color it came out when they dug it out of the peat. It had taken on, it had been there so long that everything on it, inside and out, is completely plaque. So we haven't had it aged, but I imagine it's thousands of years old. So we put that out in front, and it kind of sets up our setting. And then on the outside of the circle of our torches, we have 2 teepees on the back, and then we have 3 teepees in front. So when the trail comes in, they can see the silhouettes of 3 teepees, and then they see 2 big teepees lit up. And they don't see nothing else, they just see it lit up. So they know there's a fire up there, but they don't know what's going on until they come through the teepees. And then all of a sudden they're at the gate, and there's all kinds of people around them. And, you know, everything is lit up. The other thing we do to help with lighting is we add 2 smaller council fires just offset to the front, so there's actually 3 fires. You know, if you think of the vigil triangle, there'd be, you know, the 3 corners. So you have your bigger fire, which is actually a ground fire, and we have 2 elevated fires, which wouldn't be any bigger than a campfire, but it really helps with the lighting of the whole situation. So everybody in the audience and everybody that's in the ceremony can see what's going on. There's no artificial lights, everybody can see what's happening. Also across the back and above our sashes, we have teepee poles, shorter teepee poles that we use to carry our sashes rather than somebody carrying them all on their arm. So Kitchkanet and Nudikit will carry the sashes. Mateo and Alawat take and put them on the candidates. But above them, we have an arrow, you know, it's probably 24 feet long, made with PVC pipe covered with red tape. And then we have the red ends of the arrow. And then, I mean, the whole thing is a giant WWW arrow. So like when Mateo says, Wamakta Ninkling Velasik with a Hemaway, he just points to the 3 W's for each word as he's doing his part when he's talking about it. So it all adds to the symbolism, it all adds to the aura, it all adds to the effect that you really want, this awe-inspiring effect to what they're doing. Lost my train of thought for a second here. All right. So something else that we do in our chapter, and probably nobody else does, but we do it, is we will do what's called a smudge ceremony, and we'll do it this afternoon before the powwow. But we will take the shell here, we'll fill it with sage, tobacco, flat cedar, a little bit of sweetgrass, and we will put that in here and we will burn that. And once we got it burning,